When we talk about real men, one of the most challenging things that men are facing is that the male is struggling with something he doesn't even understand. And when a man is confused, everybody is confused. So I want to talk about why males suffer identity crisis. It has to do with not understanding their gift. Every human came to earth with a gift, and they must discover that gift and refine that gift for them to be fulfilled. When a male especially is struggling with who he was born to be, what his gift is, it affects the woman. So I'm talking about understanding true manhood. Please write this statement down. You were born a male, but you must become a man. Being male or female is a biological reality. You didn't choose that. But whether you become a woman or a man is a choice. But it's connected to some critical issues. And that leads me to point number 2. Write this down. What is manhood? The average male is struggling with this question. What does it mean to be a man, a real man? What is real manhood? Another question that we struggle with as men is, what makes a male a man? What actually makes him a man? And why is manhood important to a woman? You know, when men don't know who they are, women are in trouble. Manhood is not defined by the roles that you perform. The key to a man's manhood is his work. Everybody say work. The key to man's manhood is his work. Man's work defines him. Let me say something about work. If a man is not happy with his work, he won't be happy with his home. Work is more important to a man than a woman. If a man isn't working, he's disoriented. He becomes disillusioned. He becomes confused. God gave man work before he gave him woman. That's why we have a nursery, you know. This is going all over the world. It doesn't represent us too well. God gave man work before he gave him woman. Work shows up in the Bible in Genesis chapter 2, verse 15. Woman shows up in Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. God didn't make woman until man had work. So the most important thing that a man really needs is not woman. It's work. A woman can never make you a man. Work makes you a man. This is so good. Listen to me. God made the man, the male. Then God gave him work. Then God said, it's not good for this man to be alone. I will make him a help suitable to help him. To help him with what? Work. Women were created to work. But they were created to work with the work of the man. So if a woman was created for the purpose of working, but her work is to work with the work of the man, and the man can't find his work, then when the woman shows up in his life, you got two problems. She comes to help him, do nothing. Let's read Genesis 2:15. Here's what it says. And the Lord God took the man that he had made and put him in the Garden of Eden. First statement, to work. And then to cultivate and to take care of it and to guard the garden. And the Lord then commanded the man to not touch the tree. This is all the instructions God gave to the male in this one sentence. Work. Look at the list. He says work, cultivate, protect, teach. Work, cultivate, protect, teach. The word Eden is the place God put him. Work is what God told him to do. So Eden is an atmosphere of God's presence. Work is what God assigned him to do in that presence. Then afterwards God said, I will give him a woman to help him. You know, nothing to me is more beautiful than watching a man who found his work have a woman in his life helping him do it. It's the most beautiful picture. I have a little secret joy in my heart, a little secret joy. And I'm so glad. Please, I'm not picking on people because they're here or whatever, but I just think it's such a good example. I look at my son Ken back there, Christian Massive. You know, when they sing it ain't him I looking at, you know. It's his wife. One time I saw them singing on stage, and she had the baby in her hand, and she was singing. And he out front prancing up and down, jumping up and down. But she was there, in a beautiful picture, singing. She's helping him work, even with the child. That's the most powerful part of his ministry. Not his songs. It's when people see that picture. Work. Okay, what is work? The first commandment God gave man was work. And work is defined as, well, I was shocked when I found out what it is, and I shared it with the men yesterday, and I simply want to show you how to find your work today, and then we're going to go home. The word work means to become. I thought it meant to do something. But the word that God uses is another word that we don't think about. It means to become. The word also means to manifest yourself. The word work is also defined in Hebrew as to reveal yourself. When God took the man, put him in the garden, God told the man, reveal yourself. That's work. Another way to put it, work means to fulfill your assignment. Let me see what's on the inside of you. Show the world what I hid in you. That's work. Work means to become yourself. In other words, work means to perform your function. When a bird is flying, God calls that work. When a fish is swimming, God calls that work. When a seed is becoming a tree, God calls that work. Let me ask you a question then. If a bird was born to fly and a bird begins to fly, and that is called work, do you think the bird is enjoying its work? Sure. In other words, when you are working, you are at the greatest level of fulfillment. Work.